Chapter 1: The Enigmatic Journey. The year was 2147, and the stars had become the playground of humanity. Earth's blue sphere was but a distant memory for those like Alara, a seasoned explorer with a past shrouded in mystery. Alara had spent years traversing the known universe, charting unexplored territories and pushing the boundaries of human knowledge. Her ship, the Stellar Voyager, was both her home and her fortress, a marvel of engineering equipped with the latest in navigation and defense technologies. Alara had set her sights on the Spiral of Time Nebula, a celestial phenomenon whispered about in hushed tones in the darkest corners of spacefaring communities. The nebula was said to be a place where time itself twisted and turned, where the past and future converged in a dizzying array of possibilities. Many had ventured into its swirling depths, but none had returned. Alara was determined to uncover its secrets, driven by a curiosity that bordered on obsession. The Stellar Voyager glided silently through the void, its sleek hull reflecting the distant starlight. Inside the cockpit, Alara monitored the ship's instruments with a practiced eye. The readings were normal, but she knew they could change at any moment. The nebula was a volatile and unpredictable region, and even the most advanced technology could be rendered useless in its grasp. Approaching the Spiral of Time, the ship's AI announced in its calm, mechanical voice. Alara's pulse quickened. She had spent countless hours preparing for this moment, studying every scrap of information she could find about the nebula. She had pored over ancient star maps, decoded cryptic messages from long-lost probes, and consulted with the most knowledgeable astronomers and physicists. But nothing could truly prepare her for what lay ahead. As the ship drew closer, the nebula came into view. It was a breathtaking sight, a swirling mass of vibrant colors and shifting patterns. Blues, purples, and golds danced together in an otherworldly ballet, casting an ethereal glow that seemed to pulse with a life of its own. Alara stared in awe, momentarily forgetting the dangers that awaited her. Initiate deep scan, Alara instructed the AI. The ship's sensors extended their reach, probing the nebula's outer edges. The data streamed in, and Alara's console lit up with a barrage of information. The readings were unlike anything she had ever seen. The nebula's composition defied conventional understanding, with pockets of high-energy particles and gravitational anomalies scattered throughout its expanse. Time dilation effects detected, the AI reported. Estimated time flow differential, 1 hour inside the nebula equals approximately 7 years outside. Alara's mind raced as she processed the implications. Time flowed differently within the nebula, a phenomenon that could explain why no one had ever returned. Those who ventured inside could have experienced mere moments, while entire lifetimes passed in the outside world. Engage autopilot, Alara commanded. Prepare for entry. The ship's thrusters fired, and the Stellar Voyager began its descent into the nebula. The outer layers of swirling gas enveloped the ship, and the cockpit's windows filled with a kaleidoscope of colors. Alara felt a slight tug, as if the very fabric of reality was being stretched and pulled around her. All systems stable, the AI confirmed. Alara took a deep breath, steadying herself. This was it. The point of no return. She had to trust in her training, her instincts, and her ship. There was no turning back now. As the Stellar Voyager penetrated deeper into the nebula, the ship's sensors struggled to keep up with the constantly shifting environment. Alara watched as the readings fluctuated wildly, the data points dancing across her screens in a chaotic ballet. Entering Central Region, the AI announced. Proceed with caution. Alara's hands tightened on the controls. The nebula's core was rumored to be the most unstable area, where the time dilation effects were at their strongest. She had to navigate carefully, avoiding the gravitational eddies and energy spikes that could tear her ship apart. The colors outside the cockpit intensified, swirling faster and faster as the ship approached the heart of the nebula. Alara's vision blurred, and she felt a strange sensation, as if she was being pulled in multiple directions at once. She blinked, trying to focus, but the feeling persisted. Warning, anomalous energy detected, the AI warned. Possible temporal distortion. Alara's heart pounded in her chest. Temporal distortion. The very concept was mind-boggling, and yet she was experiencing it firsthand. She had read about such phenomena in theoretical physics journals, but seeing it in person was a different matter entirely. The ship shuddered, and Alara's console flickered. She tapped a few buttons, trying to stabilize the systems, but the readings continued to fluctuate. It was as if the nebula itself was alive, reacting to her presence. "Maintain course," Alara muttered to herself. "Steady as she goes." The stellar Voyager pressed on, its hull vibrating with the strain. Alara's eyes darted from one readout to the next, her mind racing to make sense of the data. She knew she was close to something extraordinary, something that could change her understanding of the universe. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the turbulence ceased. The ship glided smoothly through the nebula's core, the colors outside the cockpit calming to a gentle swirl. Alara exhaled a breath she hadn't realized she was holding. "All systems stable," the AI confirmed. "We have reached the central region." Alara's eyes widened as she gazed out at the heart of the spiral of time. It was unlike anything she had ever seen. A massive, pulsating energy source floated in the center, its light casting an otherworldly glow. Tendrils of energy spiraled outward, connecting to the surrounding nebula and creating a web of intricate patterns. Alara's mind raced with possibilities. What was this energy source? Could it be the key to understanding the nebula's time dilation effects? She had to find out. "Initiate detailed scan," she instructed the AI. The ship's sensors extended once more, probing the energy source with precision. The data streamed in, and Alara's console lit up with new information. The readings were astonishing. The energy source was emitting a unique form of radiation, unlike anything found in the known universe. Analyzing data, the AI reported. Preliminary results indicate a high probability of sentient energy. Alara's heart skipped a beat. Sentient energy. The very idea was both thrilling and terrifying. If the energy source was indeed sentient, it could mean that the nebula was more than just a natural phenomenon. It could be a living entity, with its own thoughts and intentions. As the implications sank in, Alara felt a strange sense of connection. She had always felt drawn to the unknown, to the mysteries of the universe. And now, she was on the brink of discovering something truly extraordinary. "Prepare for communication attempt," she said, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. The ship's communication systems activated, and Alara took a deep breath. She didn't know if the energy source could understand her, but she had to try. "This is Alara of the Stellar Voyager," she began. "I seek to understand your nature and purpose. Can you hear me?" For a moment, there was only silence. Alara's heart pounded in her chest as she waited for a response. And then, the energy source pulsed, sending a wave of light and energy through the nebula. The ship's systems buzzed with activity, and Alara's console filled with new data. "Response detected," the AI confirmed. "Interpreting signal." Alara's mind raced as the data was processed. The energy source was communicating, but its language was unlike anything she had encountered. It was a complex series of patterns and frequencies, a symphony of light and sound. "Signal interpreted," the AI announced. "Message: we are the guardians of time. You seek knowledge, but are you prepared for the consequences?" Alara's breath caught in her throat. Guardians of time. The words echoed in her mind, filling her with a mix of awe and trepidation. She had come seeking answers, but she hadn't anticipated the weight of what she might uncover. "I am prepared," she replied, her voice firm. "I am ready to learn." The energy source pulsed again, and Alara felt a surge of energy wash over her. It was as if she was being pulled into a different dimension, a place where time and space converged. Her vision blurred, and she felt herself being drawn deeper into the heart of the nebula. And then, everything went black. When Alara awoke, she found herself in a strange and unfamiliar place. The colors of the nebula were gone, replaced by a vast expanse of white light. She felt weightless, as if she was floating in a void. "Where am I?" she wondered aloud. A voice echoed in her mind, clear and resonant. "You are in the realm of the Guardians. Here, time and space have no meaning. You have sought knowledge, and now you must prove yourself worthy." Alara's heart pounded in her chest. She had no idea what to expect, but she knew she had to face whatever challenges lay ahead. She had come too far to turn back now. How do I prove myself? She asked, her voice steady despite her fear. By confronting your past and embracing your future, the voice replied. Only then will you understand the true nature of time. Elara took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. She had faced many dangers in her life, but this was different. This was a test of her very essence, a journey into the depths of her own soul. Suddenly, the blinding white light around her began to shift and coalesce into shapes and forms. She found herself standing in a familiar place, a place from her childhood. It was her family's home, long since abandoned and lost to the ravages of time. The details were achingly real, the worn wooden floors, the old furniture, the scent of her mother's cooking lingering in the air. Confront your past, the voice echoed in her mind. Elara turned to see a younger version of herself, no more than 8 years old, playing with a simple wooden toy. The young Elara looked up, her eyes wide with innocence and curiosity. Elara felt a pang of nostalgia and sorrow. This was a time before the tragedies that had shaped her life, before the loss of her parents, before the betrayals and the loneliness. As she approached her younger self, the scene shifted again, and she was no longer in her childhood home. She was on the deck of a spaceship, the scene of her father's last mission. She saw herself as a young cadet, eager and full of dreams, standing beside her father, a stern but loving man who had inspired her love for the stars. Elara, this is our legacy, her father had said, gesturing to the vast expanse of space beyond the ship's windows. Never stop exploring, never stop seeking the unknown. The memory played out with painful clarity. Elara remembered the pride she had felt, the determination to make her father proud. But she also remembered the day she received the news of his disappearance, the day her world had shattered. The scene changed once more. Elara now found herself in a dark, cold room, facing a figure she had hoped to forget. It was the face of betrayal, an old friend and colleague who had sold her out for personal gain. She felt the anger and hurt rise within her, the deep sense of betrayal that had left scars on her soul. You must confront these moments, the voice of the Guardians whispered. Only by facing them can you move forward. Elara felt tears sting her eyes as she relived the pain and loss. But she also felt a growing sense of resolve. She had survived these moments, had grown stronger because of them. She realized that these experiences had shaped her, had driven her to seek answers and to explore the unknown. As the memories faded, the white light returned, and Elara found herself once again in the void. She felt different, lighter, more at peace. She had faced her past and acknowledged the pain, but she had also recognized the strength it had given her. You have done well, the voice of the Guardian said. Now, you must embrace your future. Before Elara could respond, the light around her began to shift again. This time, she saw visions of possible futures, paths she might take, choices she might make. She saw herself continuing her journey through the stars, discovering new worlds and uncovering ancient secrets. She saw herself mentoring a new generation of explorers, passing on her knowledge and experience. But she also saw darker paths, futures where she lost herself to the same obsessions and fears that had driven her in the past. She saw herself alone and isolated, consumed by the mysteries she sought to unravel. Elara, the Guardian's voice was softer now, almost gentle. The future is not set. It is shaped by your choices, by the lessons you have learned. Elara nodded, understanding dawning within her. She realized that her journey was far from over. She had the power to shape her destiny, to choose a path that honored both her past and her future. The light began to fade, and Elara felt herself being pulled back to the stellar Voyager. When she opened her eyes, she was once again in the cockpit, the nebulous swirling colors visible through the windows. She felt a sense of calm and clarity that she had not felt in years. AI, status report, she said, her voice steady. All systems stable, the AI replied. No anomalies detected. Elara took a deep breath, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. She had faced the Guardians of Time and had emerged stronger. She knew that the mysteries of the spiral of time were far from fully understood, but she also knew that she was ready to continue her journey, wherever it might lead. With a final glance at the nebula, she set a course for the next unknown destination. The stars awaited, and Elara was ready to explore them all. Chapter 2, Into the Maelstrom. As the stellar Voyager continued its journey through the heart of the spiral of Time Nebula, Alara felt a renewed sense of purpose. She had faced her past and was ready to embrace whatever the future held. The nebula's swirling colors surrounded her ship, creating a mesmerizing, almost hypnotic effect. AI, initiate a detailed scan of the surrounding area, Alara commanded. Initiating scan, the AI responded. Analyzing data. Alara watched as the ship's sensors probed deeper into the nebula. The readings were still unlike anything she had ever seen. Pockets of high-energy particles and gravitational anomalies continued to appear and disappear, making navigation a constant challenge. But Alara was determined to push forward. Suddenly, the ship's alarms blared, jolting Alara out of her thoughts. Warning, unidentified object detected, the AI reported. Collision course imminent. Alara's hands flew to the controls, and she quickly adjusted the ship's trajectory. The unidentified object appeared on her screen, an ancient, derelict spacecraft, drifting aimlessly through the nebula. The ship was covered in strange markings and appeared to be heavily damaged. AI, analyze the object, Alara instructed. Analyzing, the AI responded. Object identified as an extraterrestrial vessel. Age, approximately 5,000 years. Origin, unknown. Alara's curiosity was piqued. A 5,000-year-old alien ship, lost within the nebula, could hold invaluable clues to its mysteries. She decided to investigate further. Prepare for boarding, she said, guiding the stellar Voyager closer to the derelict vessel. As the stellar Voyager approached, Alara donned her spacesuit and prepared for an extravehicular activity, EVA. She secured her helmet and activated the suit's life support systems. The airlock hissed open, and Alara stepped out into the void, tethered to her ship by a thin cable. The derelict vessel loomed before her, its surface scarred by millennia of exposure to the nebula's harsh conditions. Alara activated her suit's thrusters and gently propelled herself towards the alien ship. As she approached, she noticed that the markings on the hull were more intricate than she had initially thought. They appeared to be a form of writing, unlike any language she had ever seen. AI, scan and translate the markings, Alara instructed. Scanning, the AI responded. Translation in progress. Alara reached the airlock of the derelict ship and found it partially open. She pulled herself inside, her suit's lights illuminating the dark, narrow corridor. The interior was eerily quiet, and a sense of unease settled over her. Translation complete, the AI announced. The markings indicate this vessel is a research ship from an ancient civilization. Mission, to study the temporal anomalies within the nebula. Alara's heart raced. An ancient civilization had been studying the very same anomalies she was now exploring. She moved deeper into the ship, her mind racing with questions. What had they discovered? Why had their mission ended in failure? She entered a large chamber filled with advanced equipment, much of it still intact. In the center of the room was a large, cylindrical device, its surface covered in more of the strange markings. AI, analyze the device, Alara instructed. Analyzing, the AI responded. Device identified as a temporal stabilizer. Purpose, to control and manipulate the flow of time. Alara's breath caught in her throat. A temporal stabilizer could be the key to understanding the nebula's time dilation effects. She approached the device, her fingers hovering over its controls. The markings on the device began to glow softly as if reacting to her presence. Initiate connection, Alara said, her voice barely a whisper. The device hummed to life, and a holographic display appeared before her. It showed a complex diagram of the nebula, with streams of energy flowing in and out of the central core. Alara's eyes widened as she studied the display. The ancient civilization had mapped the entire nebula and identified its temporal distortions. Suddenly, the ship shuddered, and the lights flickered. Alara's heart raced as she realized the nebula's unstable environment was affecting the derelict vessel. Warning, structural integrity compromised, the AI warned. Evacuate immediately. Alara quickly deactivated the device and made her way back to the airlock. As she exited the ship, she saw cracks forming along its hull. She activated her suit's thrusters and propelled herself back to the stellar Voyager, just as the derelict vessel began to break apart. "Close the airlock," she commanded as she re-entered her ship. The airlock hissed shut behind her, and she removed her helmet, taking a deep breath. "AI, did you manage to download the data from the temporal stabilizer?" Elara asked. "Data download complete," the AI confirmed. "Analyzing data." Elara's mind raced with possibilities. The data from the ancient ship could provide crucial insights into the nebula's mysteries. She returned to the cockpit and watched as the AI processed the information. "Preliminary analysis complete," the AI reported. The temporal stabilizer was designed to create stable pockets of time within the nebula. These pockets could potentially allow for safe navigation and prolonged study. Elara's eyes widened. If she could recreate the stabilizer's technology, she might be able to safely explore the nebula's core and uncover its deepest secrets. "Begin construction of a prototype stabilizer," she instructed the AI. "Construction initiated," the AI confirmed. As the AI worked, Elara pondered the implications of her discovery. The ancient civilization had developed technology to control time itself. If she could harness that power, it could revolutionize space exploration and unlock the secrets of the universe. Hours passed, and the AI completed the construction of the prototype stabilizer. Elara studied the device, ensuring it was properly calibrated. "Activate the stabilizer," she said. The device hummed to life, and a soft glow enveloped the stellar Voyager. Elara watched as the ship's sensors detected a bubble of stabilized time forming around them. "Stabilization successful," the AI reported. "Temporal anomalies neutralized." Elara smiled, feeling a surge of excitement. She set a course for the nebula's core, confident that the stabilizer would protect her from the temporal distortions. As the stellar Voyager moved deeper into the nebula, the colors outside the cockpit intensified. The ship glided smoothly through the swirling gases, the stabilizer creating a safe passage. Elara's heart raced with anticipation. She was venturing into uncharted territory, closer to the nebula's secrets than anyone had ever been. Suddenly, the ship's sensors picked up an anomaly. Elara studied the readings, her brow furrowing. The anomaly appeared to be a massive structure, hidden within the nebula's core. "AI, enhance the sensors," she instructed. The AI complied, and the image on her screen sharpened. Elara's eyes widened in shock. The structure was a massive space station, unlike any she had ever seen. Its design was alien, with intricate patterns and glowing energy conduits running along its surface. "Unknown structure identified," the AI reported. "Estimated age, 10,000 years. Origin, unknown." Elara's mind raced. The space station predated even the derelict ship she had discovered. Whatever civilization had built it must have been incredibly advanced. She guided the stellar Voyager closer, her eyes fixed on the mysterious station. As she approached, she noticed a docking bay on the station's exterior. The bay doors were partially open, and Elara decided to investigate further. She carefully maneuvered the stellar Voyager into the docking bay and secured the ship. "Prepare for EVA," she said, donning her spacesuit once more. The airlock opened, and Elara stepped out into the station's docking bay. The air was thin but breathable, and the temperature was surprisingly mild. She activated her suit's lights and made her way deeper into the station. The interior was a labyrinth of corridors and chambers, filled with advanced technology and strange, glowing crystals. Elara marveled at the engineering marvels around her, but she remained cautious. The station was ancient, and she had no idea what dangers might lurk within. She entered a large chamber that appeared to be a control room. A massive console dominated the center of the room, its surface covered in alien symbols. Elara approached the console and began examining the controls. "AI, interface with the console," she instructed. "Initiating interface," the AI responded. "Accessing data." The console screen flickered to life, displaying a series of complex diagrams and equations. Elara studied the information, her eyes widening as she realized what she was looking at. The station was a research facility, designed to study and manipulate the flow of time within the nebula. This station was conducting experiments on temporal anomalies, she said aloud, her voice echoing in the chamber. The AI continued to process the data, revealing more about the station's purpose. The researchers had been attempting to create a stable temporal field, similar to the stabilizer Alara had constructed. But their experiments had gone wrong, causing a catastrophic failure that had trapped the station within the nebula. Alara felt a chill run down her spine. The researchers' hubris had led to their downfall, and she was treading a similar path. She had to be careful, or she could suffer the same fate. As she continued to explore the station, she discovered a series of logs left by the researchers. The logs detailed their experiments and the gradual descent into chaos as the temporal field became unstable. The final entry was particularly chilling. Log entry 2387A. The temporal field has become dangerously unstable. Attempts to stabilize it have failed, and the distortions are worsening. Several of our team members have been lost to the anomalies, disappearing into the void or aging rapidly before our eyes. We fear that the station itself may be at risk. If anyone finds this log, know that we sought to unlock the secrets of time itself, but paid the ultimate price. Proceed with caution. Our hubris has been our undoing. Alara's heart pounded as she read the final words. The researcher's fate served as a stark warning. She knew she had to be extremely careful in her approach. The technology and knowledge within the station were invaluable, but they came with immense risks. AI, compile and store all data from the logs, Alara instructed. We need to learn from their mistakes. Data compilation in progress, the AI responded. Alara moved deeper into the station, her curiosity driving her forward despite the danger. She entered what appeared to be a laboratory, filled with advanced equipment and strange devices. One device in particular caught her eye. It was similar to the temporal stabilizer she had constructed, but far more sophisticated. AI, analyze this device, she said, approaching the machine. Analyzing, the AI responded. Device identified as a temporal regulator. Purpose, to control and manipulate temporal fields with high precision. Alara felt a surge of excitement. This device could be the key to understanding and controlling the nebula's temporal anomalies. She examined the regulator closely, noting its intricate design and the alien symbols etched into its surface. Initiate data transfer, she instructed. We need to integrate this technology with our stabilizer. As the AI began transferring the data, Alara's thoughts turned to the implications of her discovery. If she could successfully integrate the temporal regulator with her stabilizer, she might be able to navigate the nebula's core safely and uncover its deepest secrets. But she had to proceed with caution. The researchers' logs were a stark reminder of the dangers involved. Data transfer complete, the AI reported. Initiating integration. Alara watched as the AI worked to incorporate the advanced technology into the Stellar Voyager's systems. The process was complex, but she felt a growing sense of confidence. She had come this far, and she was determined to see her mission through. As the integration neared completion, the station shuddered violently. Alara's eyes widened in alarm as the lights flickered and the walls seemed to warp and twist around her. AI, what's happening? She demanded. Temporal field destabilizing, the AI responded. Station structural integrity compromised. Evacuate immediately. Alara's heart raced as she sprinted back towards the docking bay. The station was falling apart, its ancient systems finally succumbing to the instability that had plagued it for millennia. She reached the Stellar Voyager and quickly sealed the airlock behind her. Disengage and prepare for immediate departure, she commanded. The Stellar Voyager's engines roared to life, and the ship pulled away from the collapsing station. Alara watched through the cockpit window as the once magnificent structure was consumed by the swirling chaos of the nebula. Integration complete, the AI announced. Temporal stabilizer upgraded with regulator technology. Alara breathed a sigh of relief. She had narrowly escaped disaster, but she now possessed the means to safely explore the nebula's core. She set a course deeper into the heart of the spiral of time, determined to uncover the secrets that lay within. As the Stellar Voyager glided through the nebula, the upgraded stabilizer created a stable temporal bubble around the ship. The colors outside the cockpit intensified, forming a dazzling display of light and energy. Alara felt a sense of awe and anticipation. She was venturing into the unknown, closer to the truth than anyone had ever been. Suddenly, the ship's sensors detected another anomaly. Alara's eyes narrowed as she studied the readings. This anomaly was different. It was a powerful energy source, emanating from a point deep within the nebula. AI, analyze the energy source, she instructed. Analyzing, the AI responded. Energy source identified as a temporal nexus. Estimated power output, extremely high. Origin, unknown. Elara's heart pounded with excitement. A temporal nexus could be the key to understanding the nebula's time-altering effects. She guided the stellar Voyager towards the energy source, her mind racing with possibilities. As the ship approached the nexus, the temporal stabilizer struggled to maintain its field. The energy readings spiked, and the ship's systems buzzed with activity. Warning, temporal field at maximum capacity, the AI warned. Proceed with caution. Elara's hands tightened on the controls. She had to navigate carefully, avoiding the energy spikes and gravitational eddies that surrounded the nexus. The ship shuddered as it drew closer, but Elara held her course, determined to reach the source. Finally, the stellar Voyager emerged into a clearing within the nebula. In the center of the clearing was the temporal nexus, a massive, pulsating sphere of energy, its surface crackling with temporal distortions. Elara's eyes widened in awe. The nexus was a marvel of cosmic power, a force that defied comprehension. AI, initiate detailed scan of the nexus, she said, her voice filled with wonder. Initiating scan, the AI responded. Analyzing data. As the sensors probed the nexus, Elara's console filled with information. The readings were astonishing. The nexus was a convergence point for temporal energy, a place where the fabric of time itself was woven and rewoven. Preliminary analysis complete, the AI reported. The nexus appears to be a natural phenomenon, a result of the nebula's unique conditions. It is a source of immense temporal power, capable of influencing the flow of time within the nebula. Elara's mind raced with possibilities. The nexus was the heart of the spiral of time, the source of its time-altering effects. If she could harness its power, she could unlock the secrets of time itself. But as she pondered the implications, a sudden realization struck her. The power of the nexus was immense, but it was also dangerous. The researchers who had built the station had paid the ultimate price for their ambition. She had to be careful not to repeat their mistakes. AI, is it possible to safely interact with the nexus? She asked. Unknown, the AI responded. The energy levels are extremely high. Any attempt to interact with the nexus carries significant risk. Elara's brow furrowed. She had come too far to turn back now, but she knew she had to proceed with caution. She carefully adjusted the ship's position, maintaining a safe distance from the nexus. As she pondered her next move, a strange sensation washed over her. It was as if the nexus was calling to her, its energy resonating with something deep within her. She closed her eyes, trying to focus on the feeling. In her mind's eye, she saw visions, images of the nebula's past and future, of civilizations rising and falling, of time itself flowing like a river. The visions were overwhelming, but they also filled her with a sense of clarity and purpose. Elara opened her eyes, her resolve strengthened. She knew what she had to do. She carefully activated the ship's communication systems and focused on the nexus. This is Elara of the Stellar Voyager, she said, her voice steady. I seek to understand your nature and purpose. Can you hear me? For a moment, there was only silence. Elara's heart pounded in her chest as she waited for a response. And then, the nexus pulsed, sending a wave of energy through the nebula. The ship's systems buzzed with activity, and Elara's console filled with new data. Response detected, the AI confirmed. Interpreting signal. Elara's mind raced as the data was processed. The nexus was communicating, but its language was unlike anything she had encountered. It was a complex series of patterns and frequencies, a symphony of light and sound. Signal interpreted, the AI announced. Message, we are the heart of time. You seek knowledge, but are you prepared for the consequences? Elara's breath caught in her throat. The heart of time. The words echoed in her mind, filling her with a mix of awe and trepidation. She had come seeking answers, but she hadn't anticipated the weight of what she might uncover. I am prepared, she replied, her voice firm. I am ready to learn. The nexus pulsed again, and Alara felt a surge of energy wash over her. It was as if she was being pulled into a different dimension, a place where time and space converged. Her vision blurred, and she felt herself being drawn deeper into the heart of the nebula. And then, everything went black. When Alara awoke, she found herself standing in a vast, otherworldly landscape. The ground beneath her feet was made of shimmering light, and the sky above was a swirling vortex of colors. She felt weightless, as if she was floating in a dream. "Where am I?" she wondered aloud. A voice echoed in her mind, clear and resonant. "You are within the heart of time. Here, the past, present, and future are one. You seek knowledge, and you shall receive it." Alara's heart pounded as she looked around, trying to make sense of her surroundings. She saw flickering images of different times and places overlaying the landscape, like a kaleidoscope of history and future possibilities. The ground beneath her feet seemed to ripple with energy, and the air buzzed with an unearthly hum. She took a tentative step forward, feeling the strange texture of the ground shift under her boots. The voice in her mind spoke again, guiding her. "You have sought the truth of time," it said. "Now you must witness its flow." Before Alara could respond, the landscape around her shifted again. She found herself standing in the midst of a bustling alien city, its architecture unlike anything she had ever seen. Towering spires reached towards the sky, their surfaces covered in intricate patterns that glowed with a soft, pulsating light. Alien beings moved about with purpose, their forms elegant and graceful. Alara watched in awe as the city pulsed with life. She realized she was witnessing a moment from the distant past, a snapshot of a civilization that had once thrived within the nebula. As she observed, the scene shifted once more. Now she was standing on the edge of a vast, barren wasteland. The sky was dark and stormy, and the ground was cracked and desolate. In the distance, she saw the remnants of the same alien city, now in ruins. The beings who had once inhabited it were gone, their legacy reduced to rubble. "Time is a river," the voice said, its tone somber. "It flows and changes, carrying all within it." Alara felt a deep sense of loss as she gazed at the ruins. The rise and fall of civilizations were stark reminders of the impermanence of existence. But she also felt a sense of resolve. The knowledge she sought was within her reach, and she was determined to learn from the past to shape a better future. The landscape shifted again, and Alara found herself standing before a massive, glowing structure. It was the temporal nexus, but on a much grander scale. The energy it radiated was overwhelming, and she felt a powerful pull towards it. "Approach," the voice urged. Alara took a deep breath and stepped forward, moving closer to the nexus. As she did, she felt her consciousness expanding, merging with the flow of time. She saw flashes of her own life, moments of joy and sorrow, triumph and defeat. She saw the faces of those she had loved and lost, and the choices that had shaped her journey. "Time is not a straight line," the voice continued. "It is a web, with many paths and possibilities. Every choice creates a new thread, weaving the tapestry of existence." Alara felt a profound understanding wash over her. She realized that the Nexus was not just a source of power, but a gateway to infinite possibilities. It was a place where the past, present, and future converged, and where the threads of time could be seen and understood. "You have the power to shape your destiny," the voice said. "But with that power comes responsibility. Choose wisely, and you can create a future of hope and possibility. Choose poorly, and you may bring about ruin and despair." Alara nodded, her mind racing with the implications. She knew that the knowledge she gained here could change everything. But she also knew that she had to be careful. The lessons of the past were clear: hubris and reckless ambition could lead to disaster. "How do I use this knowledge?" she asked, her voice steady. "By understanding the flow of time," the voice replied. "By seeing the connections and making choices that honor the past and shape the future. You have the strength and wisdom within you. Trust yourself." Alara closed her eyes, letting the words sink in. She felt a deep sense of peace and clarity. She knew what she had to do. She opened her eyes and looked at the Nexus, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. "Thank you," she said, her voice filled with gratitude. The voice in her mind faded, and the landscape around her began to dissolve. Elara felt herself being pulled back to the stellar Voyager, the connection to the Nexus growing fainter. But the knowledge and understanding she had gained remained with her, a beacon of light in the darkness. When she opened her eyes, she was back in the cockpit of the stellar Voyager. The nebula's swirling colors filled the windows, but she felt a new sense of calm and determination. "AI, status report," she said, her voice steady. "All systems stable," the AI replied. "Temporal stabilizer functioning within parameters." Elara nodded, feeling a surge of confidence. She had faced the heart of time and emerged stronger. She knew that the journey ahead would be challenging, but she was ready to face whatever came her way. "Set a course for the next anomaly," she instructed. "We have more to discover." As the stellar Voyager moved deeper into the nebula, Elara felt a sense of excitement and anticipation. The mysteries of the spiral of time were still unfolding, and she was determined to uncover them all. With each step, she knew she was not just exploring the stars, but also the depths of her own soul. Chapter 3: The Heart of Time. Elara's journey through the spiral of time nebula had been transformative, but she knew her mission was far from over. The knowledge she had gained from the temporal nexus was profound, yet it also left her with more questions. The mysteries of the nebula still beckoned, and she was determined to uncover them all. The stellar Voyager continued its smooth glide through the nebula, the upgraded temporal stabilizer maintaining a stable bubble of time around the ship. Elara's mind raced with possibilities as she studied the data from the nexus. She felt a deeper connection to the flow of time, understanding it not just as a linear progression but as a web of interconnected moments. "AI, scan for any unusual energy signatures," Elara instructed. "Focus on areas with the highest temporal distortions." "Scanning," the AI responded. As the ship's sensors probed the nebula, Elara reviewed the logs from the ancient research station. The researchers had been attempting to harness the power of the temporal nexus, but their efforts had ultimately led to their downfall. Elara was determined to avoid their fate. She would learn from their mistakes and proceed with caution. "Anomalous energy signature detected," the AI reported. "Source located approximately 200 kilometers from current position." Elara's pulse quickened. Another anomaly meant another opportunity for discovery. She adjusted the ship's course and engaged the thrusters, guiding the stellar Voyager towards the source. As the ship approached the anomaly, the nebula's colors intensified, swirling faster and forming intricate patterns. Elara's sensors detected a massive structure, partially hidden within the nebula's dense gases. "AI, identify the structure," she commanded. "Analyzing," the AI responded. "Structure identified as an ancient observatory. Estimated age, 12,000 years. Origin, unknown." Elara's eyes widened in surprise. An observatory of such age and complexity suggested a civilization with advanced knowledge of both astronomy and temporal mechanics. She guided the stellar Voyager closer, marveling at the intricate design of the observatory. The observatory was built into a massive asteroid, its surface covered in complex carvings and glowing symbols. Elara could see large telescopic arrays and other advanced instruments, all pointing towards the heart of the nebula. It was clear that the observatory had been built to study the temporal phenomena within the spiral of time. "Prepare for docking," Elara instructed. The stellar Voyager smoothly docked with the observatory, and Elara suited up for another extravehicular activity, EVA. She exited the airlock and made her way into the ancient structure, her suit's lights illuminating the dark corridors. The interior of the observatory was a stark contrast to the derelict research station she had explored earlier. The walls were adorned with intricate murals depicting celestial events and strange, otherworldly beings. Elara felt a sense of reverence as she moved through the halls, the history of a lost civilization unfolding before her eyes. She entered a large chamber filled with advanced equipment, much of it still operational despite the millennia that had passed. In the center of the room was a massive control console, its surface covered in the same glowing symbols she had seen outside. "AI, interface with the console," she instructed. "Initiating interface," the AI responded. "Accessing data." The console screen flickered to life, displaying a wealth of information about the observatory's purpose and its discoveries. Elara's eyes scanned the data, her excitement growing with each new revelation. The observatory had been built to monitor and study the temporal nexus, and its researchers had made incredible breakthroughs in understanding the flow of time. AI, download all data, Elara instructed. Downloading, the AI responded. As the data transfer began, Elara continued to explore the observatory. She found detailed star maps, records of temporal anomalies, and even personal logs from the researchers who had worked there. It was clear that the civilization that built the observatory had been both highly advanced and deeply curious about the mysteries of the universe. One log in particular caught her attention. It was written by the observatory's lead researcher, a being named Zalrath. Log entry 1257b. The temporal nexus is a marvel of cosmic engineering. It is a place where time flows differently, allowing us to observe events from the past and future with unprecedented clarity. However, we have also discovered its dangers. The nexus can be unstable, and prolonged exposure can lead to unpredictable consequences. We must proceed with caution, lest we fall victim to the very phenomena we seek to understand. Elara felt a chill run down her spine as she read the log. The warnings echoed those from the derelict research station. The nexus held incredible power, but it was also fraught with peril. She knew she had to tread carefully. As she made her way back to the control console, the data transfer completed. The AI had compiled a comprehensive archive of the observatory's findings, providing Elara with a wealth of knowledge about the temporal nexus and the nebula. AI, summarize the key findings, she instructed. Summarizing, the AI responded. The observatory's researchers discovered that the temporal nexus is a natural phenomenon created by the unique conditions within the nebula. It acts as a focal point for temporal energy, allowing for the observation and manipulation of time. However, they also noted that the nexus can be highly unstable, and any attempts to interact with it must be done with extreme caution. Elara nodded, absorbing the information. She knew she had to proceed carefully, but she also felt a growing sense of confidence. The knowledge she had gained from the observatory would be invaluable in her quest to unlock the secrets of the nebula. As she prepared to leave the observatory, a sudden thought struck her. The murals on the walls depicted not just celestial events, but also a journey, a path leading to the very heart of the temporal nexus. She realized that the observatory's builders had left behind a guide, a map to navigate the dangers of the nebula. AI, analyze the murals, she said, her voice filled with excitement. Identify any patterns or pathways. Analyzing, the AI responded. Elara watched as the AI scanned the murals, highlighting key symbols and pathways. The murals depicted a series of waypoints, each one corresponding to a specific temporal anomaly within the nebula. By following these waypoints, Elara could safely navigate the most dangerous areas and reach the core of the nexus. Pathway identified, the AI reported. Course plotted. Elara felt a surge of exhilaration. She had found the key to unlocking the heart of the temporal nexus. She made her way back to the Stellar Voyager, her mind racing with anticipation. The journey ahead would be challenging, but she was ready to face whatever lay ahead. As the Stellar Voyager disengaged from the observatory and set course for the first waypoint, Elara felt a sense of determination. The mysteries of the spiral of time were within her grasp, and she was ready to uncover them all. The ship moved smoothly through the nebula, guided by the ancient map. The waypoints marked safe passages through the temporal anomalies, allowing Elara to navigate the treacherous environment with confidence. Each waypoint brought her closer to the heart of the nexus, the source of the nebula's incredible power. As the ship approached the final waypoint, the colors outside the cockpit intensified, forming a dazzling display of light and energy. Elara's heart pounded with excitement. She was on the brink of a discovery that could change everything. The final waypoint led to a massive chamber at the very center of the nebula. In the middle of the chamber was the temporal nexus, a pulsating sphere of energy that radiated a powerful, otherworldly glow. Elara felt a sense of awe as she gazed at the nexus, the culmination of her journey. AI, initiate detailed scan of the nexus, she instructed. Initiating scan, the AI responded. Analyzing data. As the sensors probed the nexus, Elara's console filled with information. The readings were astonishing. The nexus was a convergence point for temporal energy, a place where the fabric of time itself was woven and rewoven. Preliminary analysis complete, the AI reported. The Nexus is a source of immense temporal power, capable of influencing the flow of time within the nebula. It is a natural phenomenon, created by the unique conditions of the nebula. Alara's mind raced with possibilities. The Nexus was the heart of the spiral of time, the source of its time-altering effects. If she could harness its power, she could unlock the secrets of time itself. But as she pondered the implications, she felt a strange sensation. It was as if the Nexus was aware of her presence, its energy resonating with something deep within her. She closed her eyes, trying to focus on the feeling. In her mind's eye, she saw visions, images of the nebula's past and future, of civilizations rising and falling, of time itself flowing like a river. The visions were overwhelming, but they also filled her with a sense of clarity and purpose. Alara opened her eyes, her resolve strengthened. She knew what she had to do. She carefully activated the ship's communication systems and focused on the Nexus. "This is Alara of the Stellar Voyager," she said, her voice steady. "I seek to understand your nature and purpose. Can you hear me?" For a moment, there was only silence. Alara's heart pounded in her chest as she waited for a response. And then, the Nexus pulsed, sending a wave of energy through the nebula. The ship's systems buzzed with activity, and Alara's console filled with new data. "Response detected," the AI confirmed. "Interpreting signal." Alara's heart raced as she watched the data stream across her console. The Nexus was communicating, but its language was unlike anything she had encountered before. It was a complex symphony of light and sound, patterns and frequencies interwoven in a dance of temporal energy. "Signal interpreted," the AI announced. "Message: we are the essence of time. Your quest for knowledge is noble, but are you prepared to bear the weight of understanding?" Alara felt a shiver run down her spine. The Nexus's message was clear. It offered not just knowledge, but a profound responsibility. She took a deep breath, steeling herself for what lay ahead. "I am prepared," she replied, her voice firm. "I seek to understand and honor the flow of time." The Nexus pulsed again, its energy enveloping the Stellar Voyager. Alara felt a surge of warmth and light, as if she were being drawn into the very fabric of time itself. Her vision blurred, and she felt herself being transported to another realm, a place where past, present, and future coexisted. When her vision cleared, she found herself standing in a vast, ethereal landscape. The ground beneath her feet shimmered with temporal energy, and the sky above was a swirling vortex of colors. She felt weightless, as if she were floating in a dream. "Welcome, Alara," a voice echoed in her mind. It was the same voice she had heard before, resonant and powerful. "You have entered the heart of time, where all moments converge." Alara looked around, trying to make sense of her surroundings. She saw flickering images of different times and places overlaying the landscape, like a tapestry of history and future possibilities. She saw civilizations rising and falling, stars being born and dying, and countless lives unfolding in an endless stream of moments. "What is this place?" she asked, her voice filled with awe. "This is the Nexus of Time," the voice replied. "A place where the threads of existence are woven together. It is a realm of infinite possibilities, where every choice and action shapes the flow of time." Alara felt a profound sense of reverence as she absorbed the magnitude of the Nexus's power. She realized that she was not just a passive observer, but an active participant in the web of time. Her choices and actions had the power to influence the course of history. "Why have you brought me here?" she asked, her voice steady despite the overwhelming sensations around her. "You seek to understand the nature of time," the voice said. "To do so, you must witness its flow and embrace its mysteries. You have the strength and wisdom within you, but you must also be mindful of the consequences of your actions." Alara nodded, feeling a deep sense of responsibility. She knew that the knowledge she gained here could change everything, but she also knew that she had to proceed with caution. The lessons of the past were clear: hubris and reckless ambition could lead to disaster. "Show me," she said, her voice filled with determination. "Show me the flow of time and the choices that shape it." The landscape around her shifted, and Alara found herself standing in a familiar place, the bridge of the Stellar Voyager. But it was different, as if she were seeing it through a lens of time. She saw herself at the controls, guiding the ship through the nebula. She saw the choices she had made, the path she had taken, and the consequences of her actions. Every decision creates a ripple in the fabric of time, the voice explained. Each choice leads to different outcomes, shaping the future in ways both subtle and profound. Elara watched as the scenes unfolded, each one a reflection of her journey. She saw moments of triumph and moments of sorrow, each one a testament to her resilience and determination. She saw the impact of her actions on those around her, the lives she had touched and the changes she had wrought. As the visions continued, Elara felt a growing sense of clarity. She realized that the true power of the Nexus was not in its ability to control time, but in its capacity to reveal the interconnectedness of all things. She understood that her quest for knowledge was not just about uncovering secrets, but about embracing the flow of existence and honoring the threads that bound her to the universe. The landscape shifted again, and Elara found herself back in the ethereal realm of the Nexus. The voice spoke once more, its tone gentle and reassuring. "You have witnessed the flow of time and the power of your choices," it said. "Remember that you are not alone. The threads of time connect all beings, and together, we shape the tapestry of existence." Elara felt a deep sense of gratitude and purpose. She knew that her journey was far from over, but she also knew that she was not alone. The Nexus had shown her the way, and she was ready to embrace the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead. "Thank you," she said, her voice filled with resolve. "I will honor the flow of time and use the knowledge I have gained to guide my path." The Nexus pulsed one final time, and Elara felt herself being drawn back to the stellar Voyager. Her vision cleared, and she found herself once again in the cockpit, the nebula's swirling colors filling the windows. "AI, status report," she said, her voice steady. "All systems stable," the AI replied. "Temporal stabilizer functioning within parameters." Elara nodded, feeling a renewed sense of confidence and purpose. She had faced the heart of time and emerged stronger. She knew that the journey ahead would be challenging, but she was ready to face whatever came her way. "Set a course for the next anomaly," she instructed. "We have more to discover." As the stellar Voyager moved deeper into the nebula, Elara felt a sense of excitement and anticipation. The mysteries of the spiral of time were still unfolding, and she was determined to uncover them all. With each step, she knew she was not just exploring the stars, but also the depths of her own soul. Chapter 4: Echoes of the Past. The stellar Voyager continued its journey through the spiral of time nebula, its sensors constantly scanning for new anomalies. Elara felt a sense of anticipation mixed with an undercurrent of unease. The knowledge she had gained from the temporal nexus was profound, but she knew there were still many dangers lurking within the nebula. "AI, any new anomalies detected?" Elara asked, her voice calm but alert. "Scanning," the AI responded. "Anomaly detected. Coordinates, 345.67, minus 123.45. Signature indicates high temporal instability." Elara's pulse quickened. Temporal instability could mean unpredictable and dangerous phenomena, but it could also lead to new discoveries. She set a course for the anomaly, determined to uncover whatever secrets it held. As the stellar Voyager approached the coordinates, the nebula's colors darkened, taking on a more sinister hue. The swirling gases seemed to close in around the ship, creating an oppressive atmosphere. Elara's sensors picked up strange readings, energy spikes, and gravitational fluctuations that defied explanation. "Proceed with caution," Elara muttered to herself, her hands steady on the controls. The ship emerged into a vast, dark expanse within the nebula. Floating in the center of this void was a massive structure, unlike anything Elara had seen before. It was an ancient space station, its surface covered in strange, ominous symbols. The station seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy, and Elara felt a chill run down her spine. "AI, analyze the structure," she commanded. "Analyzing," the AI responded. Structure identified as a containment facility. Age, approximately 15,000 years. Origin, unknown. Warning, high levels of temporal and psychic energy detected. Elara's heart pounded. A containment facility suggested that something had been imprisoned within the station. She felt a mixture of fear and curiosity as she guided the stellar Voyager closer. "Prepare for docking," she said, her voice steady despite the growing sense of dread. The ship docked with the station, and Alara suited up for an extravehicular activity, EVA. She stepped out into the airlock, feeling the weight of the unknown pressing down on her. The airlock hissed open, and Alara entered the dark, foreboding corridors of the station. The interior was cold and silent, the only sound the faint hum of the station's failing systems. Alara's suit lights cut through the darkness, revealing walls covered in strange, unsettling carvings. The air was thick with a sense of malevolence, and Alara felt a growing unease with each step. AI, scan for any active systems or life signs, she instructed. Scanning, the AI responded. No life signs detected. Minimal power readings from the central chamber. Alara made her way deeper into the station, her heart pounding in her chest. She felt as if she were being watched, though the corridors were empty. The oppressive atmosphere grew stronger, and she had to fight to keep her fear in check. She reached the central chamber, a massive room dominated by a large containment field. Inside the field was a swirling mass of energy, pulsating with an eerie, otherworldly light. Alara's sensors went haywire, picking up intense levels of temporal and psychic energy. AI, what is that? She asked, her voice trembling slightly. Analyzing, the AI responded. Energy mass identified as a temporal entity. Warning, entity exhibits signs of sentience and hostility. Alara's breath caught in her throat. A sentient, hostile temporal entity, this was beyond anything she had ever encountered. She felt a wave of fear, but also a deep sense of responsibility. She had to understand what had happened here and what this entity was. As she approached the containment field, the entity seemed to react to her presence. The swirling energy intensified, and Alara heard whispers echoing in her mind. The voices were fragmented, speaking in a language she couldn't understand, but the tone was clear: anger, pain, and desperation. Who are you? Alara whispered, her voice barely audible. The whispers grew louder, more insistent. Alara felt a pressure in her mind, as if the entity were trying to communicate with her. She focused, trying to make sense of the fragmented voices. Images flashed in her mind, visions of the ancient civilization that had built the station, their attempts to control the flow of time, and the catastrophic failure that had led to the entity's imprisonment. Alara saw the researchers' faces, twisted in fear and agony as the entity consumed them. The entity's anger and pain washed over her, and Alara understood. It had been a guardian of the temporal nexus, twisted and corrupted by the researchers' experiments. It had been imprisoned here for millennia, its rage and suffering growing with each passing moment. I'm sorry, Alara whispered, tears streaming down her face. I'm so sorry. The entity's response was a surge of energy that knocked Alara to her knees. She felt a burning pain in her mind, as if the entity were trying to tear her apart from the inside. She fought to stay conscious, her vision blurring. AI, initiate emergency extraction, she gasped. The AI responded immediately, activating the emergency protocols. The containment field flickered and weakened, and Alara felt herself being pulled back towards the stellar Voyager. The entity's rage followed her, its whispers echoing in her mind. As she re-entered the airlock, Alara collapsed, her body shaking with pain and fear. The airlock sealed shut, and the stellar Voyager disengaged from the station, its engines roaring to life. Get us out of here, Alara managed to say, her voice weak. The ship accelerated away from the station, the oppressive atmosphere lifting as they left the dark expanse behind. Alara lay on the floor of the airlock, her mind reeling from the encounter. She had touched the very essence of time and felt its wrath. AI, status report, she said, her voice trembling. All systems stable, the AI replied. Minimal damage sustained. Recommend medical evaluation. Alara nodded weakly, her body and mind exhausted. She had faced the darkness within the spiral of time and survived, but the encounter had left its mark. She knew that the journey ahead would be even more challenging, but she was determined to continue. As the stellar Voyager moved away from the anomaly, Alara felt a deep sense of unease. The temporal entity's whispers still echoed in her mind, a haunting reminder of the dangers that lay within the nebula. She knew she had to be prepared for whatever came next. Chapter 5, The Sacrifice. Alara sat in the cockpit of the stellar Voyager, her mind still reeling from the encounter with the temporal entity. The whispers had faded, but the weight of what she had experienced lingered. She knew she had to keep moving forward, to continue her mission. The mysteries of the spiral of time were still unfolding, and she was determined to uncover the truth. "AI, status report on our current position," she said, her voice steady but tinged with fatigue. "We are currently in a stable region of the nebula," the AI responded. "All systems are functioning within normal parameters. No anomalies detected." Elara nodded, taking a deep breath. She needed to regroup and refocus. The entity had given her a glimpse into the ancient civilization's attempts to control time, and she knew there was more to discover. "Set a course for the central coordinates of the nebula," she instructed. "I believe there's something that we need to find." The AI complied, and the stellar Voyager adjusted its trajectory, heading towards the heart of the spiral of time. Elara felt a sense of determination building within her. She had faced the darkness and survived, but now she needed to find the light, some clue or artifact that could help her understand and perhaps even control the temporal anomalies. As the ship approached the central region, Elara's sensors picked up a faint signal. It was different from the usual energy readings, an ancient, almost forgotten frequency. "AI, analyze the signal," she commanded. "Analyzing," the AI responded. "Signal identified as a distress beacon. Origin, ancient. Estimated age, over 20,000 years." Elara's curiosity was piqued. A distress beacon from so long ago could lead to a significant discovery. She followed the signal, guiding the stellar Voyager through the dense clouds of the nebula. The beacon led her to a massive, hidden structure, a temple, ancient and imposing, partially obscured by the swirling gases. "Prepare for docking," she said, her voice steady. The ship docked with the temple, and Elara suited up for another extravehicular activity. She stepped into the airlock, the familiar hiss of the doors opening and closing providing a moment of calm. She entered the temple, her suit's lights cutting through the darkness. The interior of the temple was vast and echoing, with towering columns and walls covered in intricate carvings. Elara felt a sense of awe as she walked through the ancient halls. The air was thick with a sense of history and power. As she ventured deeper into the temple, she found a central chamber. In the center of the room was an altar, upon which rested a glowing artifact. It pulsed with a soft, ethereal light, casting long shadows across the chamber. "AI, analyze the artifact," Elara instructed. "Analyzing," the AI responded. "Artifact identified as a temporal control device. Estimated age, over 20,000 years. Purpose, to manipulate and stabilize temporal fields." Elara approached the altar, her heart pounding. This was it, the key to understanding the nebula's time-altering effects. She reached out, her fingers brushing the artifact's surface. The moment she touched it, a surge of energy coursed through her, filling her mind with visions. She saw the ancient civilization that had built the temple, their leaders using the artifact to control the flow of time. They had wielded immense power, shaping their world and their destiny. But the visions also showed the consequences of their hubris, temporal rifts, catastrophic failures, and the eventual downfall of their society. Elara pulled her hand back, gasping for breath. The artifact's power was immense, but so were the dangers. She knew she had to be careful. She couldn't let the same mistakes be repeated. "AI, can we safely transport the artifact to the stellar Voyager?" she asked. "Unknown," the AI responded. "The artifact's energy levels are highly unstable. Any attempt to move it may trigger a temporal disturbance." Elara's mind raced. She couldn't leave the artifact here, it was too valuable, too dangerous. But moving it could have catastrophic consequences. She needed to find a way to stabilize it. She examined the altar, looking for any clues or mechanisms. She found a series of symbols etched into the stone, similar to those she had seen in the observatory. She realized they were instructions, steps to safely deactivate and transport the artifact. "AI, assist with the deactivation sequence," she said. The AI guided her through the steps, each one more complex than the last. Elara's hands trembled as she carefully followed the instructions, her mind focused on the task at hand. Finally, the artifact's glow began to dim, its energy stabilizing. Deactivation complete, the AI confirmed. Artifact stable for transport. Elara breathed a sigh of relief. She carefully lifted the artifact from the altar and secured it in a containment unit. She made her way back to the Stellar Voyager, her mind still buzzing with the implications of her discovery. As she re-entered the ship and secured the artifact in the lab, she felt a sense of accomplishment. But she also knew that her journey was far from over. The artifact was just the beginning. There was still so much to learn, so many mysteries to unravel. Suddenly, the ship's alarms blared. Elara's heart jumped as she rushed to the cockpit. AI, report, she demanded. Temporal disturbance detected, the AI responded. Source, the artifact. Elara's eyes widened in horror. The artifact, despite being deactivated, was still emitting unstable energy. She realized with a sinking feeling that the ancient warnings had been right. The artifact was too powerful to be contained. As the disturbance grew, the ship shuddered violently. Elara knew she had to act quickly. She couldn't allow the artifact to destroy the Stellar Voyager and potentially the entire nebula. AI, prepare to jettison the artifact, she commanded, her voice shaking. Warning, jettisoning the artifact may trigger a larger temporal event, the AI cautioned. Elara's mind raced. She had to find another way. She couldn't just abandon the artifact, but she also couldn't let it destroy everything. She remembered the visions. The leaders of the ancient civilization had been able to control the artifact, to stabilize its energy. Taking a deep breath, Elara made a decision. She would have to try to control the artifact herself. It was a desperate, dangerous plan, but it was the only option she had left. She returned to the lab, standing before the containment unit. She reached out, her fingers trembling as they touched the artifact once more. The surge of energy was immediate and overwhelming, but Elara fought to maintain control. AI, assist with energy modulation, she said through gritted teeth. The AI began adjusting the ship's systems, channeling the artifact's energy through a series of stabilizers. Elara focused, drawing on the knowledge she had gained from the Nexus and the Temple. She felt the artifact's power coursing through her, threatening to overwhelm her. But she didn't give up. She channeled all her strength, her determination, into stabilizing the energy. Slowly, the artifact's glow began to stabilize, its energy levels evening out. Elara felt a sense of relief, but she knew the process wasn't complete. She had to do one final thing. She had to bind herself to the artifact, to ensure its power was controlled and contained. It was a sacrifice, but she was willing to make it. AI, initiate binding protocol, she instructed, her voice steady. Binding protocol initiated, the AI confirmed. Elara closed her eyes, feeling the artifact's energy merging with her own. She felt herself being pulled into the flow of time, her consciousness expanding to encompass the past, present, and future. She was becoming one with the artifact, a guardian of time. As the process completed, Elara felt a profound sense of peace. She had done it. She had contained the artifact's power and ensured the safety of the nebula. But she also knew that her journey was over. She was now a part of the temporal web, her existence intertwined with the flow of time. The Stellar Voyager stabilized, the alarms silencing as the ship's systems returned to normal. The artifact's energy was contained, its power no longer a threat. Elara's final thought was one of acceptance. She had given everything to protect the future, to ensure that the mistakes of the past were not repeated. She had become a guardian of time, her sacrifice a testament to her resolve and courage. The Stellar Voyager continued its journey through the nebula, guided by the silent watchfulness of its new guardian. The mysteries of the spiral of time remained, but now, they were watched over by a protector who understood the true nature of time and the delicate balance that held the universe together.